Doug Weaver did a fair number of covers for epic books. A few were signed, others are presumed to be his per his collectors. His most well-known covered epic was Satan's Daughter by Jan Hudson, aka George H. Smith. It was revamped at Publishers Export Company, or PEC, in '66 for Satan Was a Lesbian by Fred Haley. Weaver did a lot of covers for PEC. Remember this one? As well as other publishers like Nighttime, for example French Twist by Roger Blake, who also wrote for Epic and whose true identity I've yet to reveal. Big ups to the publicly available vintage paperback and book covers Facebook site for some of these images. Here are the other Weaver covers at Epic. Love Me to Death. This is Charles Neutzel, using Alex Blake as a pseudonym, and no, he's not Roger Blake. If you've watched other videos of mine, you're familiar with this cover. Here's Passion's Web, Jan Hudson again being Smith. My copy has doodles that the seller failed to advertise. Another Hudson Smith with Sorority Sluts. And lastly, Twilight Girls. Judson Gray is two people yet to be disclosed. A fine art website selling this lithograph says Douglas Weaver is an American artist whose work goes for $149 to $969. Is this our Weaver? An auction house dealt with the work of a Douglas Weaver born in 1923 a few years ago. This original book cover art sans graphics looks like our man's stuff. The seemingly dormant website VintageSleaze.com states that Weaver was from New Mexico and provided a link to a 2005 article by Brittany Daly on Earl Kemp's old e-fanzine, EI. If these names mean nothing to you, check out these books. Brittany is B. Astor Daly, and Kemp was a huge sci-fi fan and publisher of Greenleaf Books. 20 years ago, Brittany founded a now-defunct website for a fine artist named Douglas B. Weaver, who specialized in Old West type art. While his signature on his contemporary works didn't match the covers of the adult books, she found one on his site from the 60s, one of the artist's son. And that one did match. It had the block letters. The website also had a phone number, so she called it. Weaver himself answered and grumpily told Whitney that he did commercial art in the 60s, including paperback book covers, and if they featured the block letter signature, it was surely his work. But he did fine art now. Begrudgingly, he agreed to receive scans of book covers from Brittany to verify what work was his, but then he returned the self-addressed stamped envelope with a note that read, "I can't help you." Brittany tells us Weaver, working at an art agency, didn't know the publishers that used his work. Besides the aforementioned, he also did covers for Rapture Books, All Star, and Raven Books. Brittany also states that the late former President of the United States, Ronald Reagan, owned Weaver's fine art, as well as another former California governor, Pete Wilson. A commenter on vintage paperback and book covers provided this photo of Douglas B. Weaver that he snatched from the former's defunct site, as well as the cover of PEC's The Hypnotist. Some resemblance, huh?